Fashion designer. What a fancy title. Aren't you thinking the same? Sounds cool, looks cool, and probably pays cool. What does it take to become one of the successful ones? Are you curious? Fashion designing is a profession that is so creative and engaging, while at the same time gives its creators tons of fame. Nope, we're not going to discuss Cruella in today's video, but we shall look into the world's richest fashion designers and how they got there. Hey folks, welcome back once again to Grand Luxury. In today's episode, we're going to show you something different that is sure to spark your interest. Before we do though, I want you guys to tell us what's your favorite designer brand and why. Please also make sure to hit the thumbs up, turn on that bell notification, and subscribe to our channel. Now let's begin. Hit that intro. One thing I'm sure of is that by the end of our episode, you'll be considering changing your major at uni or scrapping your current career. Why? Because fashion designers make money, and a lot of that. But like anything else in the world, you have to be good at what you do. Fendi, Tom Ford, Ralph Lauren, Calvin Klein are just some of the designers I'm sure you've heard of. Their designs are always on billboards, headlines, you name it. Their goods can be found at any fashion outlets nowadays. Their fashion seen just about everywhere and on everyone. We here on Grand Luxury can all attest to getting our hands on some of these products just like the rest, especially during the rock-bottom bargain prices seen during the holidays. A new pair of Gucci shoes, that lucrative Prada sweater, or the simple alligator Lacoste that we would love to have as a pet. We have been commercialized. But it's a whole different story when it comes to the lives of fashion designers. Yep, those are far more interesting than their bags and outfit on display. Okay, how about we begin with Prada? Well, she's the queen. Who hasn't heard of Prada? The company has totally reimagined luxury in its purest form. Miuccia Prada, Patrizio Bertelli's wife, is one of the world's wealthiest fashion designers today. This Italian woman has a staggering net worth of $11.1 billion and is the head designer of the company. Wait, that's not what makes her the queen though. In 1978, she took over her family's luxury goods manufacturing business, which had previously been controlled by the Prada brothers. Later, she met her husband, who helped her in combining her love of fashion with her creativity and started by making waterproof backpacks. That doesn't seem like the beginning of a fashion giant, right? Well, it's true, and they didn't stop there. The company quickly grew into a powerhouse, and now Prada is currently one of the most expensive brands in the world. In fact, all these fashion designers' empires have been formed by hard work, devotion, and commitment to their businesses. Moving on to the second giant, we're seeing Giorgio Armani. He's a giant. Yes, another fashion mogul who has taken the whole fashion business by storm. Armani radiates Italian style, a company that was formed in 1975 and deemed by many to be the most successful designer of Italian origin ever. Armani offers everything for both men and women, be it clothing, perfumes, and yes, even music. Giorgio Armani, the label's proprietor, has a net worth of $9.6 billion. Having served in the armed forces, Armani found a job early on as a window dresser for a department store in Milan in 1957, before becoming a seller of menswear at a department store. Years later, Armani would meet Sergio Galeotti, an architect draftsman, which marked the start of a person and professional relationship. Galeotti pushed Armani at 37 years old to open a design office in Milan and worked as a freelance designer for many in the fashion industry. Hilton, Allegri, Sicons to name a few. And that's it. It all grew from there, with his own label being made in 1975 titled Giorgio Armani S.p.A. Giorgio Armani, Armani Privé, and Emporio Armani are the Armani couture brands that promote the brand's ready-to-wear apparel lines. Some more affordable, others blisteringly expensive. Something for all that want quality? Yep, Armani Junior line for children even exists. The Armani empire is far from being done and dusted. The company has expanded into housewares, flower services, confectionery, and hotels. One has to constantly grow their business, and they are doing it well. Two names, Prada and Armani. I guess this video is done? Not quite, guys. Let's talk a little bit more about some other designers. Yep, Ralph Lauren it is. Ralph Lauren is the person behind the Ralph Lauren Corporation and one of the world's wealthiest fashion designers as well. In the beginning, Ralph worked as a salesman for Rivets Necktie Company and would only start the Ralph Lauren Corporation in 1967 with men's ties. He had worked for tie manufacturer Beau Brummel when he convinced the company to let him commence his own line. As Ralph had an interest in sports, he would name his first menswear line Polo. Humble beginnings, he worked out of a single drawer from the Empire State Building in NYC, making deliveries to stores by himself. After first creating neckties for men, the brand expanded into women's wear. In 1972, Ralph Lauren introduced a short-sleeve cotton shirt available in 24 colors, embroidered with his now famous polo player image. We're sure you've seen this one before. This guy also now owns a restaurant franchise as well as Ralph Lauren Home & Paint. When looking at the designer's net worth, it reaches close to $8.2 billion. Not bad considering he was born in the Bronx in 1939 to Jewish immigrants. Not only that, Ralph Lauren attended City University of New York only to drop out 2 years later from business school. Not everyone must attend uni or college. The next person on the line is Stefano Gabbana. He is the co-owner of the high-end company Dolce & Gabbana and one of the world's richest designers. His net worth has reached $1.7 billion and counting. One thing that distinguishes him is that he never aspired to be a fashion designer. What? Yeah, he was a graphic design and advertising student who aspired to work in advertising. But fate had other ideas for Stefano. He quickly recognized that he was unhappy with his existing professional path, so he changed to modeling. So what about Dolce? Domenico Dolce? Well, he was born to a father who was a tailor and a mother that sold fabrics and apparel in Italy. Like Ralph Lauren, Dolce attended university only to drop out before graduating. Luckily, he had enough fashion design under his belt to work in the industry, with his dream having been to work for Armani. How did the two meet? In 1980, Dolce met Gabbana through Dolce's employer, Giorgio Armani. The two left and worked on their own line together 2 years later, launching their Dolce & Gabbana Fashions, How debut in October 1985. Oh, and we also have to add, Dolce is also a billionaire sitting at about $1.2 billion in riches. Not bad. These two were ended their long-term personal relationship in 2003, but still work together at D&G. Time for a break. You know the task ahead. Hit that thumbs up, shake that bell notification to all, and tackle that subscribe button like nothing you've ever done before. We want to give you more great content, but you gotta give us some love too, so help a brother out. Let's keep going, fam bam. Okay, have you guys heard of Valentino Garavani or Valentino S.p.A? Valentino Garavani is another wealthy fashion designer. This man started off as an apprentice for his aunt and a local designer. Soon after, he moved to Paris to study fashion, and he launched his own fashion company in Rome. The designer's first taste of success came with his debut presentation at the Pitti Palace, where he received a large number of orders from international buyers. Valentino quickly rose to prominence in the fashion business. So yeah, you guys can call it a cliched success tale, a little bit different versus the rest. He is valued at around $1.2 billion. These names might be familiar to you, but does that stop there? Not exactly. There are other faces that have been extremely successful in this field, yet we didn't acknowledge them. We don't have the time to go into depth here, but let's talk about some other ones quickly. Erin Lauder is one of them. Apart from other designers, Erin has a whole different story. Erin Lauder is the Estee Lauder fortune's heiress, but she refused to live off the money her forefathers had brought to the firm. She wanted to contribute more to the company by bringing her creative side to the table. Erin Lauder is now the company's image and style director. Her own company, Erin, produces perfume, cosmetics, accessories, shoes, jewelry, and clothes. And guess what? The net worth of Erin Lauder is $1.3 billion, all because she chose to contribute from her side. Heard of Vera Wang? Wang was raised in New York. She had an artistic streak when she was a toddler. She began her work in Vogue right after receiving a degree in art history from Sarah Lawrence College. Vogue indeed. Vera spent 17 years at Vogue before becoming Ralph Lauren's design director for 2 years. She soon began her wedding streak when at 40, she became her own independent bridal wear designer. She now has a boutique on Madison Avenue at the Carly Hotel, where you can discover the most costly garments and exquisite designs. Ladies out there, just check out her name when it comes to the wedding scene. Wow! She is currently worth about $650 million. Next, how about we step into something classy, huh? Calvin Klein it is. This man is one of the wealthiest designers on our list. It is a well-known and famous name in the fashion world. He learned to sew from his grandma and practiced painting to master the craft. Calvin Klein is everywhere in the fashion world, from gorgeous summer dresses to trousers and even underwear. You realize how much of an impact his brand has on us. He has a net worth of around $700 million. Carolina Herrera might be a name that we forgot in between. Carolina Herrera is well known. She has been interested in fashion since she was a youngster. She used to sew outfits for her dolls when she was a kid. Her family relocated to New York, where she chose fashion design as a professional path. Carolina has one of the greatest net worths on the list at $1.2 billion. Seems like everyone has this sort of net worth here. She mentioned in an interview that her mother was the first to teach her the art of transitioning into style at an early age. That's a great inspiration. Jean-Paul Gaultier, please. His runway designs are well known, despite the fact that he did not seek studies in the fashion business. Rather, he shared his sketches with a number of stylists he admired by sending his designs. Pierre Cardin, another well-known fashion designer, recognized his work and was highly impressed with the drawings he saw. He was hired on the spot as an assistant. Some noticeable contributions have been the man skirt and, of course, the infamous cone bra that Madonna wore. Remember this one, guys? Gaultier is worth a whopping $300 million. Let's move on to the final and most inspired fashion figure, Roberto Cavalli. This is a well-known name in the fashion industry. He owns the same named label. The Italian designer has a net worth of $500 million, making him one of the world's wealthiest fashion designers as well. His career began in 1970, but he rose to prominence in the 1990s. Many Hollywood celebrities have been seen wearing his label at big award shows and parties. His most recent projects feature fine tailoring and leopard patterns, and those have a huge crowd slamming their credit cards on the table, that's for sure. So did you guys love our list? Tell us what you would want to do with your designing skills. Where do you want to put them and why? We want to know how our video inspired you to be one. If it did, then do mention it in the comments section below. Anyways, we're winding up on today's episode. Don't forget to like and share. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on any of our future videos, and scroll through some of our other great content. Bye for now, and see you all in the next one.